Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first of hopefully many movie reviews that I'm going to record myself doing. I wanted to do this because I like to rant and rave about movies or TV shows or anything of that sort, but I feel that many of the people that I rant and rave to find it quite annoying. So I thought instead I'd just talk to a camera, upload it to the internet for the scrutiny of many more people. With that out of the way, the first movie I'm going to review is called Melancholia. This movie was directed by Lars who is well known for very bleak, artistic kind of movies such as Dancer in the Dark, Antichrist, Breaking the Waves, and for apparently joking that he was a Nazi at the Cannes Film Festival or something. I don't know. So, yeah, I watched this with my mum the other night, and she didn't know any other Lars von Trier movies, so she was worried that it's gonna be like The Tree of Life, and was like, no, it won't be like that. We both really hated The Tree of Life. It is a horrible movie. I'm not gonna get into that right now, and I'm sure I'm not gonna make many friends with that. But then we watched the first 5 minutes, and we were just sitting there like, oh no, it's gonna be like The Tree of Life all over again. Because what it is, the opening sequence, in hindsight it's actually really nice. It's a really great way to open the movie. It's just a series of really slow motion, really stylized shots of just the characters doing things that, most of them pop up later on in the movie. Like, there's one where Kirsten Dunst's character is just walking through the forest while the kid is shaving a bamboo stick or something, but it's really slow motion and stylized and visually brilliant. But then there was shots of planets in space and all these weird ethereal imagery with classical music playing in the background, so that was why we were all of a sudden dread. It's like, no, I don't want to watch The Tree of Life again, no! But it's okay, because that was only those first 5 minutes it was like that. As you're watching the movie, it gradually starts to make sense as you see some of the scenes that were depicted at the start. And it also makes the second half of the movie seem less random, I suppose, but that'll make sense as I get into it later. After the opening, the film is split into 2 parts. The first one is called Justine, which is Kirsten Dunst's, the character played by Kirsten Dunst, and she did a brilliant job. She was phenomenal. She deserved the Best Actress award she won at Cannes. I did not expect that from the girl from Bring It On. I mean, not that she was bad in Bring It On or anything, but wow. Really, really great job. So the first half revolves around her wedding. And, at first it's all nice and normal, yada yada. They turn up late to their own reception and they're all laughy and happy, and the sister who's hosting their reception is all, oh, we're 2 hours late, we have to go now. And she's like, no, wait, I have to go say hi to my horse. So she goes and runs off and says hi to her horse, and it's nice, it's cute, and you think, oh yeah, she's a perfectly normal woman. Yeah, right. Yeah, and the first few scenes we're introduced to all the main characters. We're in, obviously Justine, the sister, what was her name? Claire, who was played by Charlotte Gainsbourg. Claire's husband, played by Kiefer Sutherland, I can't remember his name, John or Joe or something, and the parents of the two, who were completely insane. I'll get to that in a second. But as the reception went on, things started to get kind of weird. Justine would just go and do these really random, unexplained things. She would just, because it's set in her sister's mansion estate thing, she'll while the party's going on, she'll just go upstairs and have a bath in the middle of the reception while everyone's partying downstairs, or she'll go for long walks on the golf course and pee on the grass, or and then come back, or then go and just really weird things. I'm not going to spoil it too much. And so you're just thinking, what is up with this woman? And but ultimately, this is how I felt anyway. I felt so sorry for her. Like, oh, she's obviously not happy. This is supposed to be the happiest day of her life. I think that's the whole point of it being a wedding. It's supposed to be the happiest day of her life, but she's just not happy, and we don't know why. And the family is crazy. Like, I'll get into the mother and father. The father was funny. He was played by John Hurt, like the Ollivander, or the voice of the dragon from Merlin. And I was like, holy crap, John Hurt is in this movie, and he's really funny. He's like a dirty old lecherous creep, but he's funny. And the mother is a total friggin' bitch. Like, she'll just, I don't believe in marriage, I think this is all ridiculous. And no, I don't like this, any of this, rah, and make it all about her. And she was a cow, so you can sort of see why their poor daughter is so screwed up. What Justine does, and all the things that she does, you get the sense that there's something wrong with her, but nothing is ever stated outright. I mean, it becomes very obvious what's wrong with her later on, especially in the second half. But for the first half, it was really compelling, because there's a lot of mystery around it. And there's just little asides, like there was people looking up to the sky and be like, oh, the stars disappeared, and that becomes important later. And yeah, it was really interesting, even though not much was happening exactly. It was just, it was just really compelling and intriguing, I thought. One minor complaint I have about the first half especially is I think it might have gone on a bit too long, or it just had one or two too many characters, because, you know, it just kind of gets a little stranger and a little bit stranger, and eventually it just keeps building, and by the end of it by the end of this first part anyway, I was just more confused than intrigued. And yeah, there's this really random character who I think was her boss. I think she's in advertising or something. That's not really explained very well. I don't think it matters in the long run, but like, she just goes up to her boss at one point and says, "You're a despicable human being, and I hate you and everything you stand for," or something along those lines, and then walks away. Then he throws a tantrum and is never mentioned again. I didn't get the point of that. I don't know why she went up to him and said those things. I don't know what he did to make her angry at him, or what he was like. We know nothing about this guy. Well, I couldn't see anything about this guy anyway. And there was this other random character I didn't get the point of either, who was following the boss around, and he was trying to, like, he kept trying to pursue Justine, and it was a little bit creepy. I mean, he has, like, something happens with him in the first half. I'm not gonna say, I don't want to spoil it, but it just seemed kind of pointless, honestly. But other than that, the first half, ultimately, for me anyway, was very interesting. It built the main characters very well. It introduced them very well. That was badly worded. But yeah, there's just a few extraneous things that I didn't quite get, and as the movie goes on, or after you finish the movie anyway, you're just like, wait, what was that guy about? What was, why, huh, what, But ultimately, by the end of the first half, I felt so sorry for this poor woman. I mean, she's not, perfect at all, like, she doesn't act like a saint, but I felt so bad for her. Like, she's really trying to be happy, but it just seems like she physically can't do it. And she's trying her best, and her friggin' family doesn't help. Like, her mum's a bitch, her dad's just... Her dad, no, he's funny, but he doesn't seem to care that much for his daughter. Like, it's implied he, like, kind of ditches his daughter's reception at the end to go sleep with some young some young meat. And her sister and her brother-in-law were lecturing her all night, trying, oh, you should be having fun, we spent lots of money. It's like, leave her alone! And, though it all makes sense later on, once you work out what's wrong with her, and once the characters are developed and all that. And, at the end, like, just before the first part ends and it goes into the second part, which completely changes the whole movie, there's this really heartbreaking scene where they're in a stable, Claire and Justine, and it's after the wedding, and, something happens, I'm not going to tell you. Justine is like, I really tried. And Claire says, yes, I know, you did. And it's just like, oh, you poor woman. Like, she felt that this wedding was her last, final chance for happiness, and now she's just giving up being happy. And it's horrible to watch, and then they go riding on a horse, and there's this really nice shot, where they're riding on a horse, like, they're both riding on down this path on a horse, and there's trees and, like, fog covering them, and it's a really long tracking shot, and it looks really cool. And something interesting I noted later on, there's a similar shot but with no fog. That can mean anything, really, I don't know. But it's Lars von Trier, it probably means something.